Hey everyone, I'm Norn Queen Alexis, and welcome back to Dark Heresy. Ooh, welcome back to Queen's Court, I mean. Anyway. Victor is unfortunately helping his grandmother. May the gods watch over him. But in the meantime, I will be taking over this session because I am a jerk. In the last episode, after a harrowing battle with Alcarus, rip Alcarus by the way, he died too soon.
Oh, the poor guy. He was the real hero. He died too young.
Alcarus manifested into reality, being reborn, essentially, from his stasis crypt. The Acolytes, myself included, fought desperately to win this epic fight and showdown until Marno showed us all up and two-shot him. I wish I was kidding. Anyway,
Monk hire incompetent.
anyway, we return to Ossawar, and as we return, the Saint's inauguration is finally complete, and a grand festival is to be held. The Acolytes have only a day before this, as parade routes are cleared and Arbites and sisters are patrolling the grounds. The Acolytes rest atop a building, looking it over. So, all of you guys are on top of one of the higher buildings. It has been cut off from any other outside traffic due to Rosalina kind of waving her Imperial Eagle around, going, no, no, no. This is inquisitorial looking outpost. Stay away. Make sense? Makes sense. Anyway, what is everybody doing?
I'd be lurking, probably still in the shadow of like a pillar or something, overlooking everything. And I'd have a solemn expression.
Okay. Larician?
I'll pretty much just be watching over the procession, cane in hands, just
Are
tapping
you
against the lion-headed crest.
are you standing next to Brave Crossing? Our hospitaller?
Oh, yeah.
I imagine you're telling her grand stories of how awesome you are, and she is not believing a single word.
No, he's sometimes humble.
I too am extremely humble.
I forgot she was here. Change my stance to also uncomfortable.
Well, I assumed you were standing far enough back that she notices, like, you all know each other are there. She's just standing on the complete opposite end of you. And I'm standing
Yeah.
on the complete opposite end of her because we have that blank with us. And I'm standing as
Oh,
far away from him as possible.
Gruff McGruff is
Does
here.
he know about me?
Nope.
Oh my god, I have to roll a stealth check.
I don't have his sheet either, so I'm just gonna roll it off of my own.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't y'all have that conversation in broad daylight while he was standing right, like while we were talking?
No, I've been stealth for basically the entire time we're here
No,
because I don't want to.
we did have a conversation in the middle of.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna give myself another tick really quickly and just roll his awareness. He was not paying attention to that. He was too busy banishing demons, so he somehow did not notice you. He just thought you were a sniper. Like, every single person would think looking upon an Eldar.
At least from a distance.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
exactly.
now I really can't get close to that guy. This planet is super awesome for me to do stuff.
And I'm gonna be standing there, just looking over it next to Tarvok. Tarvok.
He takes the cigar out of his mouth, kind of blowing a smoke ring into the air, watching it disappear for a brief moment before turning his gaze upon Rosalina. Yes, ma'am. What may I do for
The Kedanest Lieutenant. Do you think I did the right thing by sparing her life?
you? The right thing, I cannot say. I can tell you did the smart thing. So, every day the great enemy claims more and more lives from this Imperium. To waste one as virile and violent as a canonist lieutenant would be a waste.
And I'm gonna have her bolter in my hand looking at it. This bolter is magnificent, and she just casually discarded it. Like I discarded her.
Kaz, I sometimes think you may forget your true authority. It was not casually discarded, it was asked for by someone who acts as hand of the Emperor.
She threw it to the ground. And I'm gonna point to where the bolter actually took like a little bit of chip damage.
Disgrace will do that to a person, I suppose.
She made a point to say that it was not hers anymore. I promised to return it to her once she's earned back the office of lieutenant. But until that day, I want you to modify this weapon for me. This weapon will see honor. It will see battle.
He looks at the weapon and then looks at you, getting flashbacks to time long past when Rosalina specifically told him not to touch any items in accordance to the Sisters of Battle, namely the repressor and her own bolt pistol, and you see him kind of hesitate as he reaches towards it to inspect it.
Calm yourself, Sarvak. This is not my own. My own war gear is sacred to me. But this one is borrowed.
Mm-hmm. He nods, and as he gently looks over the weapon, he, checking the charging handle. Smooth bolting, iron cast at sight. The marksmanship is fantastic. Sick inscriptions. God. Oh. And he kind of just retches and grabs the top of his head as he kind of jerks in a quick spasm of pain before shaking it off. Oh, damn. Sorry. That, I'm still having machinations of that filthy creature we fought yesterday.
Steel yourself.
Yes, I know. Unfortunately, I have to remind myself that the path I've walked has damned me. It's still something that needs to come to grips with.
We did not damn ourselves. We simply walk the fine line between reality and what they perceive. And I'm gonna gesture to everybody, like in the crowd.
I suppose so.
Remember, our mission is to protect them at all costs. Sometimes even from themselves.
So sometimes that can be the greatest foe. Although, must say, I'm impressed that the sisters were able to keep that creature contained like they did. The casualties they sustained were enormous, according to historical documents.
I wonder how much of that documentation was truthful. Keep in mind, we live in a time of legends.
And, Rosalina, you will know that it is my obligation to separate facts from legends.
That is fair. And at that, Rosalina is going to look over towards the blank. Does anybody want to do his voice? I essentially just want him to leave the scene.
Sure.
Yeah, Nooble's got a better German voice.
Go ahead, Nooble.
Well, I guess if you're gonna look over to him, he'd look back and raise an eyebrow. Yes?
You will meet us on this day And I'm going to hand him a note that has a date on it. Until then,
Yeah.
and the second she passes it over to him, when his hand touches the paper, she's going to, like, shiver just a bit. Until then, you're free to wander.
Very well then. I'll leave you to it then. Enjoy the parade. I'll find another place to watch them.
And with that, Rosalina's going to bow her head and then swallow the puke that's in her mouth from dealing with a blank.
And he'll slam his fist against his chest and bow his head and walk off.
God, I can't stand that guy.
Did save our lives.
Otto Malleus. Marno, you're free to come out now.
Understood.
And with that, I'm going to walk to more of a secluded spot.
I'll approach you, and as I get closer, I'll look down and say, you know, none of you should be celebrating.
No, we really shouldn't.
If we weren't here to handle that thing, then this entire world could have been lost.
But we did do a great thing this day. And thanks to you. We managed to banish the demon. For now.
Yes. I admit my concern if I had not been here. What could have happened to you? What could have happened to all of you if that thing had not been contained?
And at that, Rosalina's going to look over and put her hand around Morano's. But look what happened to you. Your arm is damaged.
I won't pull away from you. I'll just kind of grimace and kind of shrug a little bit and like a little bit of pain. Feigning ignoring it, but clearly like, yeah, it hurts. It's a small price to pay. Even if I disregarded you and the rest of them, the threat it could have posed is greater than this world. I'm gonna look at you with a bit of frustration and say, the commander who put that thing there was naive and foolish to think they could contain it.
Yes, that is why she's serving with the Repentia now. She will pay for her misdeed.
It just strikes me. Sometimes when I'm with you, I think maybe there's something more to your people. But after this, it reminds me how short-lived and short-sighted you all are.
Some of us. Not all. The one we delivered, Saint Taya, she is different.
I didn't speak to her. I cannot say.
Saints are rare amongst the humans. More rare than psychers. They have...
I struggle to think of an equivalent.
Your equivalent would be that of your warlocks, possibly. Or...
No.
And Rosalina
Maybe the young kings. Maybe.
And Rosalina's going to struggle for the word.
Which word?
Altarks. Possibly. I am still learning of your people.
Will this Saint Taya command troops?
She can.
I don't think that would have good result.
With the Emperor guiding her, maybe she will. I'll keep a close eye on her during my investigations.
Your belief and faith is interesting. I just hope it doesn't misguide you as much as it did for the commander who imprisoned that thing.
All of us have faith, whether we want to admit it or not. You have faith in your gods, don't you?
How can I? Most of them are gone.
But not all. You're lucky. You, Xenos, you have multiple gods to protect you. We only have one.
Let's say, and I'm gonna kind of tilt my head away from you coyly as I say it. Interesting way to look at it. I'm not quite sure if it's that accurate.
Possibly not. But regardless, the deed is done. We have delivered. I need to rest. My leg sustained some serious damage.
I'm gonna look at you for a moment. I suppose you're going to head off then.
Soon. Right now, I'd rather just stand here and watch this with you.
It will be nicer once we're back aboard Aristide's ship. I won't need to be so distant.
That is fair. And I'm gonna roll something really quickly.
I just wonder though, Rosalina, how many of your previous missions were like this? Because again, I can't help but shake the thought that if I wasn't here, you would not have survived.
We've pulled through worse encounters, but a piece of us is lost every time we do. And I'm actually gonna hold my knee, hold my leg for a second, like almost on not instinct, but oh, what's a good word for it?
Reflex?
Reflex, yeah.
I can see why Aristide wanted the doctor to retire.
She is not retired. I simply gave her a long-winded mission. She will remain in my service until I need her once again.
You have an interesting way of looking at things, Rosalina. Do you consider me in a similar way? Aristide has lent me to you.
And at that, Rosalina's gonna bow her head for a second. No. I am not in command of you. You are not an acolyte of mine. You are more. And Rosalina's actually gonna look away towards the parade instead of at you, but her face is gonna be a little bit red.
I'll nudge closer to you. Unfortunately, there's not much more we can be in this air whilst we still remain.
I know you're right, but I want to wait until the parade is over. Make sure everything is cleared before we leave.
I'm gonna back away a little bit and look back out at the procession. And is this sort of thing special to you?
It is. It truly is. And she's going to look out on the parade as she sees the penitent engines and all the sororitas, the guard, doing parade routes and everything, clearing the streets of people, the hundreds upon hundreds of pilgrims watching this grand event. It's not every day that they get to meet a saint. I just wish she saved mine. She spared my life, but I would give it 100 times over for my own daughter. And with that, Reed's is gonna just hug her leg while standing on the boombox looking over and watching the event, even though she could literally just hover and see it.
Unfortunately, we can't stay living in the past. We have to move forward if we wish to progress.
You know, Marno, you've asked me a long time why I do the things that I do.
I remember. It's puzzling to me still.
Truth of the matter is really simple when you boil it down. It's for her.
I'll take a few moments to think about it. I don't understand what your service could do to help your daughter.
It's to find a way to cure her, to bring her back to me. But I digress. I've said too much.
What makes you feel that way?
Our pursuits lead us into dangerous situations.
I don't share these strange taboos that your people do, you know.
Bringing her back would be... well, this is the best the Imperium could do. She's there. I can feel her. I feel her soul resonating within her. I can tell her emotions even if she can't express them. Her systems keep everything locked down but keep her alive.
At times, in times of need, my people are known to call upon the dead, you know. But they're never really the same. Never truly in this world. Always lost in the next.
Maybe one day. And she's gonna actually give you a coy smile. Maybe one day.
I don't mean to give you false hope, Rosalina.
And can you roll an awareness test real quick?
Yeah.
You notice that the entire time that you two have been separated, keep in mind you're still on the same balcony, that Aubrey has been watching. And she's watching with both interest and slight disgust. And the second you notice her, she pokes her head back behind Larisian.
I'm gonna roll to see if I notice.
Go for it. You do notice this. Right.
I'll address that when you guys are done with your thing.
Riley, did you want to say anything else?
I'm going to have Morno pause for a moment, and she's not going to bring it to your attention. But she will ask, so, Rosalina, my people would find how close we've grown to be disgusting. However, I think that your people would view it even more harshly.
And Rosalina is gonna feel it. Gonna not smile, but just look coldly at the crowd below. Everything that I do with you is damned. They would have me drawn and quartered for some of the things that we have done together. Even being an associate would get me in trouble. My office is the only thing that allows me to do what I do. But if my associations with you, regardless of anything, is going to lead me to damnation by my own people, then I'm going to enjoy the time that I spend with you.
It's just not something I had quite considered. I don't know if I like the idea of endangering you.
My office keeps me protected from these people. My acolytes understand that your services are needed. And even if they didn't, I would tell them to, and they would obey.
I just worry about you. I find it hard to believe that you really are as aware of the situation as you portray. It's not a personal thing. It's just, like I said, recent events have made me lose faith in, well, all of you.
Don't equate all of us. I have fought the Dukari, yet I look at you the same way.
It's not quite the same. I'm not equivalating you to such horrific levels of behavior. I'm just stating that perhaps you're not as wise as you all think you are.
At the mention of them being cruel, you see Rosalina tighten her grip on the railing. I understand their cruelty. Their cruelty. I understand it very, very well. I know what goes through these people's heads. I hear it every time they pass me. Slight murmurs, back thoughts, things of that nature. I can feel their emotions when I walk past them. Most of them fear me, if they know me. The others look at me as though I'm some sort of prize to be taken. This witch mind of mine is a curse, but it's also a blessing. It keeps me safe.
You all have an interesting way of looking at it. I've never quite understood the the condemnation of such abilities by your people.
As you said, our people are young, and we make foolish decisions.
Quite.
The second we get any type of power, it goes to our heads. I have been disciplined my entire life, and now I'm in service to the Inquisition. I know my place, but the common person, they do not, and if given power, they will seek to better themselves by damning the rest around them. This is just a battle. Hunt down these psychers, take them in, either make use of them or destroy them.
They are a danger. They are what led to our entire situation. Perhaps you're right. Perhaps Monkai are not ready to be psychically active.
If our Emperor walked amongst us once again, he would guide us. But until then, we have to seek his guidance and the ones that held his voice.
Unfortunately, I think your emperor has even worse chances than your daughter.
Marno, you don't realize how hurtful that was. And Rosalina's actually going to look down and actually be, like, depressed.
I'll blink at you and just kind of like be quiet. I'm not gonna like move away from you.
Sometimes the differences between us are unavoidable, I guess. I know that that wasn't your intention. Right?
It was not, but I don't wish to harm you again.
It's fine. Let us just watch this event together. And with that, we'll scroll over to Larician, who just noticed that the conversation that he was having with the Hospitaller was falling on deaf ears.
Yeah, and and he did notice her looking over at.
Yep, he did.
Okay. So, what do you think of them? The Elder. I'm sure your order teaches you to hate, revile, want to destroy on pure instinct, as most do. But I want your personal take.
Personal? Yes. I find it disgusting that you would even use that thing. It is a slave, right? Like, it's against its will.
No, entirely she's here upon technically her own will. Signed, she's sanctioned under Lord. No, he is. He's just captain. Under Captain Aristide and Paul and the Enfor dynasty. And as he does that, he's just going to give a little waggle of his head.
Why would anybody want one of those near them? They're revolting.
Yeah, they can be useful.
I mean, I have taken the oath of pacifism, but I must say I am not comfortable with that thing.
That's entirely within your bounds.
She's speaking with it.
And he's going to kind of glance over, and I'm assuming you can tell yes.
Yeah.
It would appear so, yes.
What in the Emperor's name could they be talking about together? They look so casual.
Exposure tends to have a wearing effect on, what is the word? Prejudice, my dear.
Exposure? You've worked with it for long?
Not that one, no.
Wait,
But
what do you mean that one?
in due time, perhaps.
Oh. The Emperor's teeth, you're all xenophiles.
No, there's a difference between xenophilia and simply lacking the prejudice gained by the whole.
So what are they talking about?
Who knows? Probably the parade, more than likely. Knowing Rosalina, it would perhaps be about the saint, maybe her daughter, maybe any number of things too.
What do you mean her daughter? She has a daughter?
And He's gonna kind of raise an eyebrow and look over at her, like, "Wait, you didn't know?" It's just like that's the expression. He doesn't say that.
And
But
she's just gonna look a little bit dumb for a second.
another thing for another time, because I am not the best person to explain the situation, as it is quite delicate.
Where's her daughter now?
Close. That's all I'll say upon the matter for now. As I said, I'm not the best to go into it.
Very well.
But-
Are you comfortable with this thing?
Of course I am.
But the Emperor, it even has some type of weapon on it. What if it would have turned its weapon on you right now?
It would be dead before the fire, dear. You have nothing to worry about. If not by myself, then Rosalina, or even Tarvok. Though I doubt he would intervene immediately.
But what if it's pulling Rosalina away from you? What if it tries to assassinate just her? You can never trust the Eldar. They're always up to something.
Let me give you an example once taught to me. When you have a rat in a den of snakes, that rat will obey the rules of the den of snakes. As long as the snakes permit it, and it does not act out of line, well, the rat will be allowed to live. If it acts out of line, even in circumstance of against one snake, let's say it bites a snake, then all other snakes will be more wary of it and more likely eat it. It is currently in a den of big, angry snakes there. I've nothing to worry about. It will act within the rules given to it, and it will not violate its sanction. If it does, it will be, as the metaphor says, eaten.
I guess, but are they speaking Gothic, or does that thing have a native tongue?
They have a native tongue, though I doubt Rosalina would know it. So, most definitely, she is speaking Gothic. Low, more than likely.
You taught that thing how to speak. That's...
Not I. She more than likely taught herself. That or Lord Anzifor taught her.
Oh, please, the Eldar can't teach themselves.
That truly is the problem. In the Great Imperium, we underestimate others. You see her as an animal. Something can't learn, incapable of thought, reason. No, she's cold, cunning. Sure, she's faster than us, smarter than many of us, even.
Wait, smarter? No, I think you must be mistaken. The Eldar are a dense, slow-moving species.
Then you have no experience, my dear.
Oh, but just out of character really quickly, this is all according to Imperial propaganda.
Oh, yeah, of course.
This comes from that one thing that they hand out that's like hilarious.
Yeah.
Fictitio Divinitatus.
No, oh my god! All right, that's a good joke. No, like the propaganda that Victor reads as "Attention, Godsman."
The regimental
Yeah.
standard.
Yeah, the regimental standard. So if you guys are wondering, that's what it is, and she is non-militant, so she doesn't know the Eldar. Go figure. And what if this mechanical fellow over here? He's massive. I've never seen a tech priest that big.
Oh, I wish they didn't get bigger, and he's probably the most horrifying one I've ever seen. And he's going to say that with a grin.
Now, his name Tarvok. Archfabricator Tarvok, right?
Arch Fabricator, Boltivator is Tarvok, and the ugly cousin of the itsy bitsy spider.
Now, how long have you known him?
5 years, I believe.
6.
Oh yes, 6.
6 years? One for each limb, I guess. And she's gonna actually like crack a smile.
Yeah. When he sorted out of those things, I can't remember. He's quite good with his hands, though.
Which ones?
Good at. Fair enough.
And what of the Inquisitor? And she like nods over to Rosalina.
What of her? And he's just gonna kind of raise an eyebrow as he side glances over back to her.
Well, what can you tell me about her? If I am going to be in her employ, I need to know some things. I know she has a daughter, and I know she's good with a sword.
She's strict, tries to be as heartless as possible, but well, I'm still bad.
Wait, can you
And
repeat that?
huh? Oh, she's like, he's like, oh, well, she's rather strict, tries to be as hard as she can, but well, I'm still standing personally, and she's courageous, very good with a sword. That's dead. Uh, she looks like she doesn't care a lot, but well, I'm sure she does. At least that's the impression I.
And she's a witch, isn't she?
An ugly word, but the term applies. She's sanctioned as well, a psycho. From my knowledge, she's not always been one. Or it only recently awoken.
And you don't find it suspicious that a witch and a Xenos are colluding?
No, not at all. Such is the line of work.
This is the line of work that I'm going to be drawn into by the Emperor. We destroyed a monster.
Very much we did. And he's going to reach into his jacket and pull out his flask, which has the rampant lion of the Serena family on it. Take a drink. Well, it's not always in such a manner. I don't think I've ever spoken to. I don't think she's ever spoken to any other Xenos other than Morano, and
Wait, that thing has a name?
yes, they all have names. Even to my knowledge, those green, muscly.
The orcs?
Yes, those. Thank you. I couldn't find an appropriate word that would be politic in current company. But those two are those two. Talbot and I are Talbot and I. There have been others. Polonia, she's on the ship. Well, I can't call her Polonia anymore, and I refuse to call her Enzifor. So she is Thalia.
Wait, why do you refuse to call her by her name?
Oh, there's principle of the matter, families, bad blood, something I'm trying dearly to stop, but me and Captain Enzifor don't tend to get along that well. Despite my best regards, he still sees me as only a Serena. I try to press our colourful past, but
Well, the Inquisitor could help with that, right?
That's no business of her own. It's a inter-family matter. Nothing of concern to the Inquisition.
Hey, I'm gonna be right back. Sorry to interrupt you.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And you were all in service to that saint, were you not?
And you're gonna see him kind of take a pause as he thinks. In a manner, we more worked alongside her.
You brought her to this world.
As such was necessary.
That's incredible. You were in service to a saint. Will I get such privilege?
Perhaps. I've seen so many things that I can't rule out the possibility.
And with that, she's going to have a soft smile. Then, Larisian, Serena, I will work alongside you and that thing if it means that one day I will get to walk alongside a saint.
And he's actually going to give a very big smile at that. One little step at a time, my dear. And what's her name? I can never remember.
Aubrey Brave Crossing.
Well, one little step at a time, my dear. Aubrey, Brave Crossing, Hospitaller of the... What is this? Shining Blades?
She's just Hospitaller. They're assigned to... Yeah.
Okay. Then you'll leave it at that.
And with that, you guys are free to do what you want as the parade goes on. So Rosalina's going to give a nod to Marno after finishing up their conversation. And Marno is just going to essentially vanish before everybody's eyes. And Rosalina's going to start walking towards the door. She's going to stop and turn around to you and just go, "We depart in 3 days. Until then, you are free to do what you will. Just don't break anything, Larisian."
Oh, I won't. And I'm going to uphold what I told you on the vessel. And he's just going to have a very wide grin.
Just be careful.
Oh, I will, or I'll be in the morgue.
By the way, I've returned.
Oh, Riley, I just said that Marno disappeared.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Wait, is Rosalina still there?
Yes.
Then she would not have disappeared.
Well, she's essentially hiding then.
Oh, did someone pop in who she has to hide from?
No. I mean, you could just walk right alongside her if you want.
Yeah, no, she would stay with Rosalina while she has the time to.
All right.
Opportunity to.
So those two are going to go into the building and into their... Well, Rosalina's going to make her way towards the... towards where she is staying in this building that she has quarantined off. And she's going to activate the ruins and let the door slide open and invite in Marno.
Will it be alright if people know that we're together alone?
As far as they know, I am just conducting business and you are returning to the ship.
If you say so, I'll give you a slight smile and walk in.
I did have food ordered already. And inside you see like almost the equivalent, but on a smaller scale to what Anzifor gave to us when I first met you.
I'll remember to drop out of sight when whoever brings the food arrives.
Oh no, the food's already there.
Oh, okay.
So you two, well, Rosalina and Myrna are in that place.
Yeah.
What does everybody else want to do?
I think Larisian would like just continue to talk to Aubrey, get to know her a little better since, well, this is really the first time he's actually had the time to talk to her.
All right. Would
Yeah.
you care to go down and see the festival closer?
And he's gonna look and see like what is passing, what is out there right
Currently, they've already started the parade,
now.
and it's just a bunch of cardinals, one at a time, going through on giant, like, slabs that are slightly hovering with all of their priests next to it, waving to crowds and all sorts of things. You know, typical parade in the Imperium.
Okay. Well, he's just gonna squint a little down there. I don't see the harm in it. Would you lead the way? I'm sure you're more familiar with the surroundings.
Yes, of course. And with that,
And with
you two are going to head down there. Tarvok, what do you want to do?
All right, so Morno and Rosalina are off, like, in a room together, and those two are off going to a parade, correct?
Yep.
I guess I'm going. I guess you know what, I'm gonna go to like a eating establishment.
All right. As you walk through the city and everything, you find you find a restaurant that isn't too packed. And the second you walk in, everybody stops for a second and looks at you. Like, holy crap. And then they kind of continue doing what they're doing.
All right, I will approach a kind of straightening out my dinner jacket, and I will approach and say, "Table for one, please."
Yes, Arch Fabricator. Right this way. We were not expecting you. And with that, the waiter like walks him over to a table that has a person there, and he shoos the person away. Go.
Indeed. And as we're kind of passing by, I want to kind of tune in and listen into conversations to see what people are saying.
Roll awareness. Okay. Wow. Damn. Um. So as you walk by, the normal chatter is about the saint, the parade, and that a giant mechanical spider just walked in. And a lot of the people there are a little bit nervous with you being there.
Do I need to stay just sit in or something? Jesus. With that, I will. So, but there is no talk of demons or monsters or inquisitors.
No, it's actually been pretty suppressed.
All right. And as I'm sit there, I order let's just say an ordo flambe, which is a flame cake. That sounds fancy enough for a Shrine World restaurant. And I just want to kind of keep an eye on the chatter here, and
Okay.
just make sure that the words are being suppressed, and make sure that our subtlety is somewhat intact.
Oh, they know that you're an arch fabricator, and they are aware of an inquisitor on the planet.
That's fair, but to be fair, I also shout that out at the top of my lungs.
Yeah,
That
and
that's
so does
that's not
Rosalina.
That is true. And as I'm sitting there, I'm going to play back something from my data bank.
Mm-hmm.
I'll set the scene. The place was the Screaming Wheel Cantina. Tarvok was younger then. Only two mechanical pieces of equipment on him, an arm and a mechanical eye. And he remembers watching as 4 individuals walk into this establishment. A young woman, followed by a cherub, a cloaked man carrying a massive sniper rifle, what looked to be the trappings of an Armageddon guardsman, or it was 5 actually. As well as I believe, a Mordian, yes. And as these people kind of sallied in, he remembers them talking. He remembers the guardsman kind of coming in and harassing him for being a tech priest. But his focus on the data points was that of a masked fellow by the name of Skinner, harassing and eventually fatally stabbing a Unitorum worker, or a Manufactorum worker, excuse me, and remembers him collapsing on the floor as they walked out. He remembers this young girl walking over to the man, and after hesitation, ended his life, giving him the Emperor's mercy. He remembers her crying. He remembers how weak she was. He remembers Rosalina.
And as
with that,
you remember, as you're going through all of that, you hear somebody mention Inquisitor or Inquisition.
Well, what do I hear?
Did you hear? Yes. During the inauguration, an Inquisitor was there. Was it now?
With this, upon hearing this, in one of his eyes, he's gonna catch a red laser, like not an actual like deadly laser, but like the aiming laser of my eye, just kind of, just annoying him in the eye to see what's looking at him.
And with that, he puts up his hand to block the light. Yes, there was a group of them. And the one was a witch mind. We aren't allowed to really. No, that it was an open broadcast. They were allowed to talk. And it was a woman. A young woman. Probably no older than 40 standard Terran. She was dressed elegantly. Do all Inquisitors dress like that? No, I heard they wear tight black armor and they drag people into alleyways and kill them. No. Do you think that woman would do that? Well, you know what they say about the sisters. Why do you think there's no crime here? It's because the sisters drink their blood. By the way, that's an actual belief that people think about the Sisters of Battle.
Yes. And at this point, I'm going to increase the intensity of the laser to really get one of their attention.
What are you doing, Tech Priest?
At this point, I will step over, and I will actually walk over and kind of lower myself down and say, "Good evening, gentlemen."
What does someone like you want? And you see him reaching under the table for something.
Try it. And with that, I will actually hold up my right, like my original right hand, and just for a brief second, I flash my elect to, giving him the brief glimpse of the Inquisitorial logo.
And you see him like shy up for a second and pull his hand back. You're the.
Talk is dangerous.
Roll intimidation plus 20, because this is good.
All right. Ooh. Oh, and I get a couple extra degrees of success because of unnatural strength 4, so I think I get. Oh no, never mind. Just unnatural strength 1, so I get an extra.
I can actually open up this character sheet and give him a willpower real quick. Okay, this person fails. I actually used my spaceship to roll that.
Fair enough.
You see him like cower, and he goes, you're.
I'm only asking you to and I will look at him. And as I'm doing that, he'll notice that the my shoulder mounted well, although even if he doesn't know it's a Weber, it's like slowly luring itself moving towards him. Talk is dangerous, my friend. The wool's heavy.
Yes, my lord. I have done nothing. I won't say anything.
Of course you won't. Because I will always be watching. And with that, he will tip his hat. He will take off his hat. He'll actually take his top half off and leave it at the table and return to his meal.
You see everybody in the restaurant just looking at you like, what the hell just happened? And you see the man like stand up with his he has a pistol in his hand, but he's obviously not drawn it to shoot you. There's a big train going by. But he's like, I need to go. And he just darts out, and his friend darts out as well. And they like push through the crowd and everything.
And as he watches them leave, again another flashback happens. The scene is the middle of the desert, a fortification done by the Faceless Trade. He recalls the Mordian, now carrying swift wings on his back, a proposed saint charging into the melee. Tavok remembers scrambling out of a exploding repressor, or a burning repressor, and hearing the last breaths drawn by this Mordian. As he and Tarvok kind of shakes his head, trying to get it out of his head, but he could still remember the flames. Polonia dragging him from the wreckage and patching him up. All he could hear is the screams and the fire. He remember Rosalina cutting down man after man, only to get stabbed a few times herself. And then he touches his arms and his legs, and he reminds himself that my flesh is weak. I'm better now. No one can do that to me again. Before looking back at the crowd.
You see the crowd is still wide-eyed looking at you like... And of course, somebody starts a lawnmower outside my window.
It's Tarbok ambience.
Oh my god. I am sorry about this, everybody. My neighbor likes to mow his lawn at 2 p.m.
No, it's totally accurate Tarfok ambience.
Anyway,
It's our state-of-the-art special effect.
I am so sorry. I'm gonna try to lower this really quickly, just so you only hear me. Okay, so with that, you hear Tarvok actually hears a bunch of the people like, is he one of them? He has to be. He's. And you see a lot of the people start making their way for the door, leaving you.
And with that, Tarvok smiles and whispers, "A sheep has joined the fold. Metal limbs go trotting up to Martian's hole. At the gates are knocking, sheep and wolfish close. Holy jaws are dropping up in Martian's hole. Plant my foot, my hooks, my books. Once upon a time, Tarvok was a tower tethered in his pride. Castor grapes are sour, thought the ink is dried. Light and garden's flower, ivy to be climbed." As he watches the people walk away, or kind of start moving out.
Alright, and with that, the waiter comes up to you after you have finished your meal, and he goes, My lord, this meal has been, it's completely on the house. You can go.
I nod, but I will leave a tip for the waiter, as is customary to.
Roll
And
influence. I'm not gonna make you do that because that's silly. Um.
you're right. But I will say, and as I kind of, stand up, and then I say, indeed, the meal was quite satisfactory. It My compliments to the chef. And then once more before he has one last major flashback. The roof, a helipad, I guess you would call it. I don't know what the 40K term for it is.
Land the Rotorium.
Yeah, there you go. And he remembers staring down a creature of which he knew the god's name, but he would not dare recall it. A monstrous creature. He remembers Harold Blackbeard, a monster of a man himself, charging it only to have his leg ripped off from his body. He remembers Rosalina collapsing on the ground, Tobian's weapons destroyed and left bleeding. He remembers Polonia desperately firing at the thing, trying to bring it down with decent success. And as it charged at it, it had to pick a charge at. Had to charge one of us. And he remembers the incantations he spoke to try to bind the thing to end it as quickly as possible, but he failed. His knowledge not enough. He remembers this massive, pussy, decaying creature slamming its fist into his chest with breathing his final word. Fascinating. Before Polonia was able to bring the thing down. A long year it's been, isn't it? It's been a long time. And Tarvok will lean on his cane, will lean on his pole arm before silently making his way out.
And as you do, the crowd parts for you, and we have completed that scene. Back to Rosalina and Marno. As Rosalina enters the doorway, she touches a few ruins to lock the door, make sure no one else can enter, and she finally gets a chance to let her guard down and has a big sigh of relief. Just, finally. And with that, she undoes her belt that has the two swords on it and puts them to the side next to the couch. And she whips off the backpack and sets that down as well. And she just rests on the couch for a second.
How long until we have to get on our feet again?
We have a few days of rest. Just a few. Do you care to join me?
I will. I'm just contemplating the next few days. I hope you understand that this isn't exactly a comfortable environment for me.
No, I fully understand that.
I don't mean here. Obviously with you it's not the same, but out in the streets in the city.
I understand. I will get us aboard an air shuttle as quickly as I can, preferably my one. And we'll depart sooner so I can get you aboard the ship. Does that sound adequate?
I don't want to drag you away from this place if it has spiritual significance to you. But on the other hand, I would like the comfort of some, well, not having to look over my shoulder.
And Rosalina gives you a smile, and she's just like, all right, I understand. Saint Taya isn't scheduled for another day, so let me just rest a bit, and I can take you up tonight.
Will you be alright down here without me?
At this point, I believe so.
And if you're incorrect,
And with that, she's gonna just look down for a second. Well, the Emperor will protect.
excuse me for having a conflict of interest, but on one hand, I do desire my own comfort, and on the other hand, I desire your safety. And I'm not sure which to pick.
It is fine. I will take you up. It is not a big worry for me.
If you insist. But should you change your mind and desire I stay,
And with that, Rosalina is going to reach into her bag once again and pull out. Where is it? Because she always keeps a bag of this on hand. A bag of 4 Elise candy. And she's going to offer one to Moreno.
she'll take one and look down at it.
It is a sweet.
She'll take it and put it in her mouth.
I wonder how it would actually taste to the Eldar. I guess it would be really sweet to the Eldar.
I'm just gonna roll a 1d100 to see how she reacts.
A fear
Or
test.
how it tastes. She's gonna kind of look at you and like faint a smile and say, "Oh, this is a sweet. How wonderful."
And Rosalina's gonna put hers in her mouth and just be like, you know, Marno, you don't need to fake it around me.
Well, in that case, she's gonna go over to wherever the bathroom is and spit it out.
And Rosalina is gonna make her way towards the actual banquet and start making herself a plate. Would any of this food be sufficient for you?
Yes, I'm sure there's food I can eat here. It should be no issue. But the food is not really what I'm interested in.
And Rosalina's gonna raise an eyebrow looking at you. By the way, she sat at the kitchen table.
I guess you can finish eating, but after that I was hoping that we could have some more intimate attention.
Riza, go to your room.
And with that, I think we should fade away.
Yes, we should. As Rosalina just drops her fork and says, Riza, go to your room. And with that, we go back over to Larician and Aubrey.
Are you calling me a hospitaller?
Tarbok would look really cute in the armor.
Keep your mouth.
Tarbok patterned breast armor.
I mean, I should make some for the new retributor.
Anyway, back to them. As the parade is going by, you see Aubrey actually naming all of the different cardinals and all the different priests that are going by. And as you do, and as you're looking, you see the Repentia going by. Just a few at first, but one catches your eye. It's the Canoness. No longer in her
Canoness.
armor, no longer in anything. Just walking with the Repentia.
Did he ever meet the Canoness? That was the thing.
He knows what happened. Like, he saw what happened and what Rosalina did to her.
Right, well, on saying that, he'll just kind of... He'll look at her, and then he'll look over to Aubrey to see her reaction, if she even notices.
You see her look visually upset. I guess it's better than a bolt round.
And of course, redemption is always better than death. And he's gonna... is she in her armor right now, or...
Yeah, she still is.
Okay. I mean, regardless, I don't know why I asked. It's a pointless question. He's just still gonna do this. He's just gonna put his hand on her back to be a little bit reassuring.
And she's gonna look at you and just be like, I don't find any type of comfort. I am perturbed by this situation. On one hand, the Inquisitor did spare her life. On the other, I know what the Repentia do. Their wounds are so grievous that we can never treat them.
I won't pretend to understand that. Wholly unfamiliar, but such a thing just happened to one you trust so much. Harmful, hurt, but she will bear her scars as a reminder, and I'm sure, from what I've heard from Rosalina about your order, well, about the Sisters of Battle, when something of this magnitude happens, they will bear those scars, and they will bear them as a symbol of the path, and they will use that path to fuel them, to stoke their faith.
But what does Rosalina know of the sisters? She's not one of us. She's...
No. But she knows quite a bit, my dear.
How?
He knows about her connection to the sister, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, because
They've actually shown up and beat her up.
he wasn't there for that. He was off planet Earth. Okay. well, no, I mean, like, he would know about her, like, and Roseless.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Well, my dear, it's rather complicated and long, but she's a noble woman, and when she was on her homeworld, she was brought up with a famulus, for starters, and from my knowledge, she apparently had a very deep fascination, learned and strong a conviction as any of them I've heard. And seeing her in battle, I hardly would dispute that fact. And from my knowledge, she's kept connections with them since I don't know when. But that is the most that I know. So, of course, she's not your order. She still has connection to deep just as I have deep connections to. And he's not gonna elaborate on that.
I guess you're right. But seeing the Canoness like that...
She will earn her armor back.
Yes.
That I'm sure.
Of course. And with that, did anybody else want to do anything?
I wanted to go find Kali.
I don't think I can do Kali justice.
Then I'm going to retire to a bar and call it there.
Okay. Larisian?
He was just gonna continue to talk to Aubrey and ask her about herself, and well, he's given a little bit about himself.
I'm gonna let Victor decide her full backstory.
Okay.
Rosalina and Marno are busy, so with that, I'm gonna time skip to the actual grand celebration, and Rosalina is gonna be there after delivering Marno back to the ship, and she's gonna be... did anybody else want to join her in the Arvis Lighter?
I will.
Okay. She's gonna get special permission to fly low with the Arvis Lighter and put a servitor on flying duties so that she could sit out the side of the craft, hooked up of course, and just watch the parade from a vantage point that no one else could get. And she's gonna see Saint Taya donned in her armor with the giant scythe. And she's gonna give a smile. And the saint is gonna look up and see Rosalina. And she's gonna look down, still shy and still afraid of, well, the future. It's uncertain for her. And Rosalina is gonna start a prayer for her. And then at the end of it, she's gonna say, "The Emperor protects." And she's gonna have the sign of the Aquila on her chest. And she's gonna be like, "Servitor, fly us back to the ship. We leave this planet." And with that, I assume everybody else is aboard a type of vessel to get back to Aristide's ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we're going to call it. Does that sound good for everybody?
Yes.
Alrighty. So, I want to thank everybody for joining us for this impromptu Queen's Court without Victor. It was more or less just role-playing, no actual roles needed too much. But I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. As always, I'm Norn Queen Alexis. I love you guys. Bye.